First, I'd like to thank my dear Professor Hussein Okasha for invitation for this nice meeting. I will present two cases with complication fluoroscopic sign which is candy sign. ده طبعا تكمله لكلام الدكتور حازم في المحاضره الاولانيه وبرضه نفس تكمله لكلام الدكتور معاذ. Some recommendation we need to do before doing any EUS transmural intervention. My first case is 65 years old male with history of severe acute pancreatitis since 8 months. It presents with large symptomatic pseudocyst presented by dyspepsia, epigastric pain, and sometimes vomiting. We did initial assessment by EUS that revealed unilocular large pancreatic pseudocyst with aspiration and the analysis of the cyst fluid. There is very high amylase and low CEA. We discuss different options for drainage with the patient, and we decide lastly to do EUS guided cystogastrostomy used biphalangeal fully covered self-expandable metallic stent. We follow the regular step for EUS guided cystogastrostomy. We first puncture the cyst with 19 gauge needle and the aspiration of little amount of the fluid, which is brownish fluid. Then introduce an ERCP 0.035 guide wire. Try to make more than one coil. This is a large cyst, so we can do one or more coil, making the track using 6 French cystotome, and then dilate the track. In this case, we prefer to do dilatation with Sohendra dilator, as you know, the balloon is very long, and so when during exchange we may lose the wire in this large cyst. Then, after dilatation of the track, we introduce and deploy the biphalangeal stent. Also, we try to keep some tips to facilitate the maneuver, such as we maintain the scoop in straight or little bit angled position, apply colorful Doppler before puncturing, and maintain the distance between the stomach and cyst wall less than 1 centimeter, and more preferable to be less than 5 millimeter. The most important point is to maintain the wire in EUS view. This make all instrument in line with the probe of echo endoscope and facilitate the maneuver. During stent deployment, we should take our time under fluoroscopy, under EUS, and also may under endoscopic view. Also, the last thing is never to remove the guide wire except you are satisfied is everything is okay and the stent is deployed inside. In our case, the initial step was fast and easy. We performed mechanical dilatation using Sohendra dilator, but when we try to introduce the stent, there's some resistance during introduction of the delivery system through the fistulous tract, but with some pushing and elongation and shortening of the scoop, stent pass and deployment was easy. This is a video of our case. This is a large unilocular cyst with first we puncture the cyst with 19 gauge needle, aspirate some fluid, and then we introduce 0.035 guide wire. Here we try to maintain the wire in EUS view, like this. Then we dilate the track or make the track with 6 French cystotome. And then we dilate the track using Sohendra dilator. Go in and out many times to dilate the track. Then we try to introduce the delivery system. The delivery system of biphalangeal stent is 10.5 French. We dilate up to 10 French, and we think that it would pass easily. But here, unfortunately, some resistance during introduction of the stent. And with some movement in and out, pushing the stent. Lastly, the stent pass to the cavity. You will see here, pass to the cavity. This is a fluoroscopic view. And we start to deploy the stent. And then pull back. I use in this case Fuji system, and Fuji it's easy to see under endoscopic picture the stent deployment. Here is the black mark, and at the black mark I pull back the stent and open it endoscopically. There's many options to deploy the stent. You can deploy the stent inside the scope, but here I clearly see it. But under fluoroscopy, you see here this picture. My wire is inside. This picture is we have two waist above and waist below. Normally we should have one waist, and so I deploy pigtail stent. So after deployment, we see this photo. We have two waist between the stomach, here, and this bulge between the stomach, between the gastric wall and the cyst. So we have two waist, and this is what we call candy sign. We bought.
ممكن توضحها لنا يا سيدي، دي مهمة جدا. ممكن توضحها لنا بالكيرسر اللي عندك.
This here two waist. I have another photo. I put pigtail here. And patient admitted for 1 day and discharged with no symptom in second day. We ask him to follow up after one week. Here, it's clear, Dr. Hussein. This is two waist here and here.
Yeah, very clear, very clear.
And the important here, we didn't miss the wire. The wire, except after you do everything you want to do, the wire is inside the cyst. We have some suggestion for this sign that it may be due to we use Sohendra dilator, mechanical dilatation, not Sohendra, not balloon dilatation, and so it may be more narrow than the delivery system of the stent, and there is some resistance, so some separation occurred when we introduce the two stents. This is our explanation. But when we search online, there is the same sign described by dear Professor Sandeep Lakhtakia. He describes the same signs, fluoroscopic sign, and in his case, he dilates with balloon. I think it's not related to the balloon. It may be related also to the fibrous component of the wall of the cyst. 1 week later, there is marked reduction of the cyst and the improvement of the patient's symptom and no complication. And under fluoroscopy, the waist is, we have no waist. The tubular stent appear as one size like this photo. Okay. 3 weeks later, we do CT. There is disappearance of the cyst and no symptom. We remove the stent and we put double pigtail stent in the cavity. After 6 months, there is no recurrence of the cyst. The second case is also for candy sign. It's a rapid case for candy sign also, but in EUS BD. This is case on under chemotherapy, but become jaundice, diagnosed as malignant obstructive jaundice. The patient underwent ERCP for 2 sessions, but unfortunately was failed. So it's he referred for us for EUS CDS. We did the maneuver very easy and rapid, but at the last step, we see this photo, 2 waist, one here and one here, and this is the candy sign. This دكتور حازم كان أشار لها في أول محاضرة. But I think Dr. Hazim in EUS CDS, most of double wall penetration, it is mucosal penetration, usually mucosal penetration, not complete wall penetration. But we should be aware of this sign. We should be trusted that, or be sure that there is one muscle layer. We can put water in the duodenum to avoid double penetration of the wall. And as Dr. Muaz said, this is the most important thing for forward view echo endoscope to avoid this complication. So Can's sign is the presence of two wastes with transmural metallic stent deployment. We can prevent it in EUS cystogastrosum, in my opinion, to dilate with balloon, not with mechanical dilatation. In EUS CDS, we can avoid double wall penetration by identification of single muscle layer and keep short distance, very short distance between the CBD and duodenal wall, and to use forward view echo endoscope if it's available, not to remove the guide wire after deployment of the metallic stent, except after you are satisfied with the stent position. And in Can design, it's better to put big tail stent inside the metallic stent. Thank you.